Role strain occurs when a person has trouble meeting the roles connected with a single status. Almost every student experiences some kind of role strain. 62% of all students are in a sport and are usually in more than one. 80% of high school students also have a job on the side, not to account for all the students that are in extracurricular activities like band and choir. Teenagers need 9.5 hours of sleep a night to function, but the typical teenager gets 6 to 7.
Do you think teachers should give less homework to students so we have less stress?
Do you think it's fair the amount of stress that teachers and adults put on us? Think about it.
Do you think it'd be difficult for teachers to communicate to have tests on different days? What do you think?
Do you think that the amount of homework should be lessened to lessen the role strain that students feel?
I don't think we want to go backwards and reduce the level of homework for students at Riggs High School. I think students at Riggs High School and the results that they produce year in and year out demonstrates that our level of rigor is about right. We hear from universities throughout the state all the time about how well prepared our students are for the next level. And even if you talk to kids that, one of the things I enjoy the most in the fall is when kids come home from homecoming, their first semester of college, and they're like, wow, I have so much time on my hands, I don't know what to do with myself, because they're well prepared. I hear things like, I'm more prepared than the people I'm in class with. I just hear it all the time. So I feel like, although it is rigorous and we do have high demands, I think we need to keep them where they're at. And a lot of times, I think kids put a lot on themselves too, because they do work maybe more hours than they should work. And obviously, everybody needs to have a job, but right now, I think at this point in students' lives, the priority should be their education. And I think we have kids that work, 30, 40 hours a week and try to go to school full time, and that's just too much. Get the rest of your life to work. So, long answer to really what I feel is no. I think we're about right. I think our rigor's about right.
I think that school and homework puts too much strain on people that are trying to be students, athletes, and have a job.
You go first.
Yes, I do.
That's it? Oh, I agree.
Well, thanks for that compelling argument. Jeez. How do you think you would handle, as a student, being a student from 8:15 to 3, being an athlete from 3 to say around 5, going to a job from 5 to around 10, and then having 7 classes worth of homework, give or take, and then a test to study for the next day? What would be your course of action?
Well, I think that that's a really difficult scenario. I mean, if you look at, the research about sleep, students obviously need to have that, 9+ or 8+ hours at least of sleep. When I think in high school that happens is, I don't know, I mean, the national research also shows that you probably in high school, while you're in high school, should not be working, more than 10 to 15 hours a week. Okay. I think a lot of times as coursework gets more difficult, students need to make some choices, and that's not always easy. Maybe it's not taking the full load of all the strenuous classes. Maybe it's not being in an activity. If you think you can do, every activity we have, or even 2 or 3, it's very, very difficult. And I think one of the things that's nice about high school is you actually can try some things and decide, no, I don't want to do that. No, I don't. It's not going to work for me to work this many hours. And you'll learn a lot about yourself when you get pushed to that level. Maybe you can't take the level of difficulty of courses if you want to be in hockey, if you want to, be in the band, if you want to be in the play. Something has to give. And hopefully while you're in high school, you kind of learn where those boundaries are for yourself. High school is a good time to try those things out and kind of figure out, okay, how hard can I push myself? First of all, once you get beyond high school and you're into college, nobody's ever going to ask you about what your grade point average was in high school. If you have a job and you get fired, it's not going to, follow you the rest of your life. If you decide you're going to quit football or whatever, it's okay. And so while you're in high school, it's really a learning process about what am I learning about life and about myself. If you think you can, have that kind of schedule on a day in and day out, it's just impossible. You're going to tip over. I mean, you just can't do it. Even students that work 20 plus hours a week, if you try to come to school, that's like a full-time job. And the expectations are, it's not just 8 to 3. There's expectations that you're doing homework. And so, that's really a 40-hour-a-week job. And so then what are you doing afterwards?
Hey. So if you get off school at 3, you go to practice till 5, and get off work at 10, how much homework do you think you could get done while trying to get a good night's rest? Absolutely 0. Thank you for your time.
So you're a student, an athlete, you have a job, you're a musician, you are in band. So how do you feel that all those roles affect each other?
They definitely pull me in different ways for each one, but sometimes it's not always quite a positive effect. With all the strain that they've been put on me, it's pretty exhausting.
What would you say the most stressful time you've ever felt in your life?
Definitely school, especially around like semester test time. If you work hard for a B, all semester, and then just all of a sudden you end up with a C and nothing you can do about it. So it's pretty stressful. So the school thing is definitely, I think, a large part.
Everything's gonna be okay. So, I asked you 10 years ago the same question. Do you think that you have too much stress and an unachievable goal put on you by the adults and your successors, also known as your teachers? Do you feel like it's affected you in any way? Negatively? Thank you.